Hi, welcome to this week's class. We're back from our tour, and we are with Zohar Noah number 5. And if you don't know what that means, number 5, what happened to 4, 3, 2, and 1, then go back to the archives on Get Soul Strong and check out 1 through 4. I think we have a couple free versions on YouTube. And this class, I'm strongly considering putting out on YouTube because it's our first time back. Obviously, we were on tour for a good couple of weeks, and the touring season is finished, thank God. And I'm not planning on going back out to visit Jacques and your friends in Cape Town until fall in their world and spring in ours, a little bit less than roughly a year from now. Because our agenda is to get some good highway miles on Get Soul Strong, and traveling always shuts down shop, which we know. So the goal is to have a straight shot between now and Cape Town, April, May, we're thinking. So almost a year of yeshiva learning and getting everyone over to Get Soul Strong in the forums. Get your toches off of Facebook. It's not healthy for you anymore. I think the discussions there have long been dead. And we need to get Soul Strong. And it's getting there. New additions to Get Soul Strong. There is now, pay attention, a Facebook login. If you don't want to type in your password every time, there's a button on the login page for Facebook login. There's a button for Google login. I like the Google login because it really is simple. And there's a new function, Stay Logged In. That I don't want to hear any more about how when we get notifications in the email, I can't read the forum thread because I'm not logged in. That problem has been solved. It's called Stay Logged In. Once you are logged in to Get Soul Strong, unless you're an administrator, Jacques, admins have to log in each time for security reasons. But if you're not, if your name is not David Katz or Jacques Kotzi, then once you log in, you're logged in. So when the notifications come in the emails for the forum, you can click the link, hop right in, join the conversation. And we're there for dialogue, asking questions, and it's not like Facebook where you get barked at or the Klippa comes in. We can have some good, honest discussion. So the goal between now and Cape Town is to get those discussions going, get the classes going with a long, steady momentum to get some good Torah underneath our feet. And with that said, Zohar number 5. We've done 1 through 4. We're on Mishnah number 11. And we're only going to do one Mishnah today. And again, we are with a new camera, so I can't promise that I understand the technology of this thing. I believe I do. I've tested it. So God willing, you'll see a much improved product. I hate that word product, but if you want to call it that, when it goes up on YouTube. And if you guys have any suggestions on how to improve the video, like I said, this is the first time using it. I think we're good. We have a new tripod, lighting system. God willing, it'll only improve. So we're looking to upgrade our game, and you guys in the Torah world should be looking to upgrade your Torah learning, because that's what we do at Get Soul Strong. Zohar Noach, number 5, Mishnah 11. Bo roi haya Noach miyoim shenivra ha'olam lehiyois bechibor echad im hateva lechnes bo. Come and see. And Noah, your friend and mine, was fit from the day that the world was created to be in union with the ark. Or in other words, the teva, and to enter into it. Now, I don't know what an ark is, and I certainly don't know what a Tov Beis Hay is. Hateva. or the Teva. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. The kasha of this week's Zohar, the kasha of this week's Mishnah, and it may be the biggest kasha of all. What is an ark? I hope you know, because I don't know. And that is a moot point. It's a non-question. The real question is, what is a teva? And follow that thread through this mission and you'll see what I'm talking about. We don't know what a teva is. But we know in weddings that the secret of the chuppah is union. A man once upon a time and a woman once upon a time had parents who were once upon a time boys and girls, and their parents and their parents and their parents. And they kept saying Mazel Tov. They were born and raised and then came together and had kids. And then those kids were born and raised and came together and had kids. Until eventually a boy and a girl hits the age 12, 13, and their parents start looking for shidduchim, matches, and they say, man, it's a little too early for that. They're 12 and 13. Let's send them off to seminary and yeshiva, and they'll be ready by 18, 20, 25. And the kids go, and they finally meet. They go on dating shidduchim, and they tie the knot in the Tanayim, in the Vort, and they declare, no more matches, we want each other. And then they court. At that time, they gain the conditions of what will be the marriage. The day of the chuppah comes, they fast that day, they put the veil on her, he gets dressed up, they sign the ketubah, they come through 7 chuppahs, he takes her home, and they wake up in the morning, man and wife. The secret of union. Well, Noah was fit from the day of creation to be in union and enter into this thing called the teva. And it's interesting, because a woman is brought into the domain of a man. And that process is called chuppah. When he veils her, that is the beginning of chuppah. When they stand under a canopy with a ring on her index finger, she finds herself in his domain called a chuppah. Then they lock them in a room after the ceremony, and that is called a chuppah. Then he takes her home to his house, and that is called a chuppah. And that chuppah is called union. And all the time, the bride is coming into the domain of this man, who is now called her husband. So Noah, who's the male, the Yesod, yet he is destined to enter into the ark or the teva. And the question is, what is that? What is the ark? Let's stop calling it an ark. Let's start calling it teva. Noah, who is the Yesod, the Adamic man of below as Adam was above, he is destined to enter into the teva and to unite with the teva. Now, obviously, it's some kind of female aspect or partsuf, but what is it? And what did it represent with Adam's situation in Gan Eden? Now, you can guess all you want. It was the apple, it was Eve, it was the garden, it was the Shekhinah. But we don't want to guess. We want to know, what was it, what is it? There is something, historically even, that Noah was fit to unite with from the day of creation, and a time came, and he united with this thing, and he entered into it. And when he entered into it, him and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives, and a bunch of giraffes and other animals, the flood came up to the world. Now, I'm not going to answer what a flood is as much as I'm not going to answer what a teva is. But we look to the Maharal of Prague, who says in the Chevlei Mashiach, the birth pangs of the Messiah, that is synonymous. The birth pangs are synonymous with rapid change, and all change is called evil. Gives you a different perspective of Obama, doesn't it? And the only way to survive the evil or the change, and remember, the baby in the womb is going through changes, and it learns the whole Torah in the womb. And I guess you could say it's a kind of evil, the change, because the baby is going through stages of development. It's rapid, it's harsh. The mother is sick, she could die. It's not evil like a villain with a knife or something. It's just, it's not what we would think to be good. Not to say that birth is bad. We're talking about the process of that change. I mean, if we were to take you and put you right now in your mind back in that womb, would you want to be in there? I wouldn't want to be cramped in there. And I mean, the baby doesn't know any better, but the mother certainly is going through pain and can die even in childbirth. So we know there's an element of severity and something that even if it is great or good, it doesn't appear to be good. So if it doesn't appear to be good, we know that God is all good. There is no evil in the world. Then it appears to be something not good. And the word for that in Hebrew is ra, loosely or wrongly translated as evil. The Maharal says that to endure change is through wisdom and chesed. And I think that's probably how a woman either could or should define her pregnancy. Right? Women, I mean, I've been through 2 kids with my wife when she was pregnant and delivered. I can only tell you what she did from her experience, and thank God my kids are healthy and alive. And she did a lot of reading to get herself filled with wisdom of birth. I remember that the women's class that she went to taught her that when the pain comes, blow shofar. They said that, I mean, the way that a woman's body and the muscles work, if you go like this, and you just kind of like that, it just, I don't know, it takes the pain away. And I remember she did it. She taught me, I think in her 7th or 8th month that she was planning on doing it. And she didn't use drugs or epidural in Zohari's birth. And I saw her go into the shofar, and she dealt with the pain. So she learned a lot about wisdom. And I think it goes without saying that a mother is looking to do only the highest kindness for the child in the womb. The opposite would be to let the child die, and God made it that women don't let their children die generally in the womb. The opposite of that is abortion, which obviously the Torah is against. So how does a woman give kindness to her baby in the womb? Lots and lots of water. Eating the right foods. Being conscious, and all those things. I mean, as you all who have been through pregnancy, men and women, men standing by their wives helping, it is a time of great wisdom and great kindness. And I'll say a time of great evil. The evil is, it's harsh. The conditions are harsh. I remember my wife vomiting from smells. I remember she couldn't take the smell of pasta. It just would make her vomit instantly. I certainly am not in the mood to get sick at the whim of a smell. So we see that the pregnancy can be very, very, I hate to use the word evil, let's call it challenging. Severe challenging. And that's the Chevlei Mashiach, and that's the flood that Noah went through. But by somehow clinging and attaching and uniting to this teva, Noah was spared the birth pangs, the changes of the world, that the world fundamentally changed into something else after having attached to the teva. Now, since Noah was destined for this, imagine that my name is Michael Jordan, and I have hands like huge, massive hands, long fingers. I'm 6'6", and by definition, or if you want to use an even better analogy, make my name Michael Phelps, and give me a male body like a fish. You know, they have like these analyses of Michael Phelps, that his the way that his toes bend backwards are like a fin, and his torso, that because there's a Michael Phelps, because there's a pianist with long curved fingers to do this, there must come the invention of the piano. There must come the invention called basketball. There must come the invention called swimming, competitive swimming. Because there's a man named Noah, who is Yesod. Technical problems online. Hold on one second. Because there is a man named Noah who is Yesod. There must be the concept of entering into something. If there's the concept of entering into something, that something must be called the teva. So in the spiritual dynamics and properties, there is a Yesod. There is a teva. Noah is the Yesod. He enters and unites with the teva. If you would like to call it an ark, if you'd like to call it that, whatever this teva is, it mandates some kind of stability, like we say with the moral, with chesed and wisdom, and that supposes a chaos outside of the stability. The utmost chaos. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen videos on YouTube of ships at sea. I don't think, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I've never seen anything more chaotic, in the true sense of the word chaos, than a storm at sea. So if Noah is connected to stability, and that stability guards him, protects him from chaos, then by definition, there must be a flood or a chaos. And Noah is rescued and relieved of the chaos around him. Now, if you want to use English words like flood and ark, that's fine. But in all honesty, the word is teva, and the flood is a mabul, and the man Noach is Yesod, and the real understanding of the higher worlds in Torah to be understood in our world, of the reality of this Noah, ultimately we must know more so even than what a mabul is, a flood, what is a teva. And we know that there must have been a teva because there was a Noah. There was a man destined to unite with this thing. A man with long hands and fingers and tall. There must become a thing called a basketball to fit that hand. There must be called a competition stroke to fit the body of this Michael Phelpsism. There was a creation of Noah, and the world had to adjust to it. It was that strong. Just as there is competitive swimming, competitive basketball, there's competitive Yesod. And the world had to pass through it. So when there comes into the world a Noah, and he attaches to this teva, the world in its chaos actually is passing through this Yesod. And as it passes through, It's becoming a new world, the world of separation. But the world is going to have to come through, and there's going to have to be a Noah, and there's going to have to be a change in the world. We find a very similar concept with the Rashbi and the compilation, I guess, of the Zohar. We know the story from the Talmud that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, the inspiration of what became crystallized as the Zohar, the very Zohar we're learning. That the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was in a cave. And in that cave, the time of the Romans came, and Rabbi Shimon came out, and the story goes, you've probably heard it, that the fires, came out from his body and his head and killed the birds above, and they died, and he had to go back in the cave for 2 more years. And it's interesting because the Zohar Chodosh, one of the books of the Zohar, actually speaks, the Ramchal explains that the Zohar is a teva of Noah. The Zohar is Noah's ark. So now we see a very clear example of what is a teva. A teva requires a tzaddik, a utmost Torah scholar, a true Talmud Chacham, a master of the revealed and concealed aspects of Torah, a Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a Noah. And Rabbi Shimon goes into the cave with the revelation of Elijah and brings out the essence of the Torah. And we know that the essence of the Torah came out of Noah's time, the Torah of Shem, and now we know the difference between the Torah of Shem and the Torah of Enoch, or Chanoch. One came through a teva, one didn't. So therefore, in the time of Rabbi Shimon, it was the concept of the Yesod of Rabbi Shimon in the Torah that he represented, entering into the cave at the time of Roman conquest, learning the secrets from the highest revelations of Elijah. And remember, Elijah was an angel who predated man, so it's not a problem to say that Noah would have had revelation of Elijah, or a sandalphonic revelation. And when Rabbi Shimon went into the cave, the world was going on around him, the Roman exile, and when he came out, ostensibly it was a different reality, a different creation. They say that Rabbi Shimon went into the cave, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, and he came out of the cave, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. And whether or not Rabbi Shimon wrote whatever extent to the Zohar, or it was attributed to him, or at least inspired by him, a oral tradition from him, we do have the Zohar, the essence of Kabbalah, which came out. And I guess we could say that at the time of Rabbi Shimon, the world became separated. It was a different time. Post-Talmudic era, which is the 2,000 years of exile of Edom, are, I guess you have to say, fundamentally different than the previous exiles of Greece and Babylon and Persia and, if you want to say, Egyptian exile. But whatever it is, the Edomite exile would have become crystallized when Rabbi Shimon came out of the cave. If we want to compare the concept of Noah's, I don't want to call it messianic, but saving the world. Did Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai save the world? Well, the Zohar itself says that Mashiach will bring us out of exile with the Zohar under his arm. So there is the aspect of redemption with the Zohar, i.e. the cave of Rabbi Shimon. And the Zohar continues, and from there, and from these, the whole world was spread out. And it's taken from the verse, from the sons of Noah, and from these, those that were connected to the Teva, the whole world was spread out. that God literally recreated the world through them. And it's a very powerful thought, because the world went through whatever change it was. But imagine an ideology. I don't know, Americanism, right? Let's say Americanism was invented once upon a time, whether it was Christopher Columbus, whether it was George Washington, whether it was Abraham Lincoln, whether it was MTV. Something about America, at some point, it became an empire that spread through the world through media, television, propaganda, ideology, that the world has become Americanized, largely. The world has become Judaized, largely. So the same idea of ideology, the world became Noahized, and the whole world spread from them. And they were free from the chaos, so whatever the inspiration, wisdom, and kindness of the connectivity of the ark, it spread and conquered the entire world. And from there, it's separated out. We know that all levels of redemption, purkan, are it means to differentiate, so that when Israel is delivered or saved in redemption, whether from Egypt or Babylon or Persia, it's called a purkan. That God said, here's Israel who's redeemed, and here's the fallen Greeks who failed to conquer Israel. There was a purkan, and we use that word in davening. And he says that the ark, the teva, is the aspect of the garden. Just as there was the garden and the river, which came 4 rivers, there was the teva, and out of the teva came 3 sons, and Noah was like the 4th son, so 4 heads went out. Unless you want to say Noah was the main river, then you have a problem of who was the 4th river. I don't know. But he's saying that just like there was a Gan above with a river to 4 rivers, there was the Teva and Noah and his family below. And from that we can understand that just as there was an Adam above, there is a Noah below. And we find that the Adamic reality was above, and in the time of Adam's hate or sin or his falling, his discovering the lower worlds, as that's going on, that looks like in real time Noah in the lower worlds. So really they're a reflection of one and the other, as Adam is in the upper worlds in whatever time and space, and he is doing his Noahic things in his Adamic ways. At that time there's a cause of a Noahic reality living the Adamic reality as Adam on high, Noah on low. Then we find that therefore Parshas Bereshis and Parshas Noach are 1A and 1B, 2 sides to one coin. We can also learn from that, just like most will agree, that the Adamic reality of the garden, the snake, is not the most literal story in the world. Even if it is literal, we do agree and know that it is at least mystical. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a walking, talking snake. So even if it is a literal walking, talking snake, it's a reality different than mine. Therefore, Noah's Mabul and Teva, even if it's literal and realistic, it's a different reality than I am used to. And the offspring of Noah founded and conquered Adam's world and Adam's creation. They attached to the Teva, if you want to call it the ark. And that Teva or ark, as we said, mandated a flood. If there was a teva, there is a mabul. There is a teva because there is a Noah. There is a Noah because there is an Adam. There is an Adam because God created man. And we're going to end off the class. What was this teva that they attached to that allowed them only now to survive the world of separation? Because out of the members of the attachment of the teva, they went out from there, and they only because they were attached to the teva were they allowed to survive the world of Pirud, separation, and they weren't blotted out like the generation of the flood or the Mabul. So the Mabul people have no teva. People that have teva do not succumb to Mabulism. Those that do not succumb to Mabulism, they go out from there and they discover and conquer the entire world of separation, and they are able to endure and survive and even thrive a world of separation because of having attached to the teva. So this happened. And they went out and the world became Noahized. And we see that it's an iteration. The world is becoming Zoharized. Is it still happening, the Zohar? Is it still happening, Noah? And it's all the tikkun and the biror, the, how do you say biror in English? I would say filtering. Like the filtering of the bad stuff from Adam and the reclaiming the good stuff of the fall of Adam. The biror of the fallen sparks of Adam on high, Noahism on low, and Rabbi Shimonism, the iteration of Noahism. Which begs the question, what did Adam himself attach to? What was the teva of Adam? Was it the tree of life? God said, eat from the tree of life. Tree of life is the secrets of the Torah, the Zohar, and the Torah itself. Okay, maybe so, but maybe not. Maybe it's deeper. Maybe it's more elaborate. Maybe it needs greater articulation. All we know is that Noah was the man, the Yesod, destined from creation more than anybody else, more than Rabbi Shimon, more than Adam, more than Mashiach, to be a Yesod, to attach to the Teva, which mandated a Mabul, which mandated a survival in the world of separation, which mandated a salvation to the world that will end in a messianic age. Ladies and gentlemen, the question of and kasha of this week, before we go to next week, class number 6, Mishnah number 12. More than anything, was Noah real? Historical Noah? Was there a flood? What is the flood? The question that you need to be preoccupied with. Was there an Adam, and who was Adam? What was the secret of Adam? The question now, framed very clearly, what is a teva? Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the class. May we have a great kickoff of a new semester and semesters as we inch our way towards Cape Town in the fall, down south, spring, up north, God willing. I hope everyone finds their way to the website, getsoulstrong.com. Sign up, get involved in the discussions, come to class, and let's get ourselves off of the Facebookism, and let's get into some good, kosher, holy, thought-provoking, challenging Torah. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed.